And welcome to the Ruby Tuesday. My name is Ruben, and this is my review for people that are a little bit worried going into this. Perhaps you're not a massive Spider-Man fan, or maybe you are, but you think it's been hyped up too much. Probably the most hyped up film since Endgame. I will say though, my score for this is 5 Nicolas Cages out of 5. That should give you an understanding. I normally put my score right at the end of my reviews, but I don't want to stand here and be all excited and then go, it is 5 Nicolas Cages out of 5. It's 5. It's a very strong film. It's filled all my expectations and more. There are moments in this film that I could pick apart, but I don't want to. Because what you get from the film is so much more. I loved it. It had so much more heart than I was expecting. I was expecting there to be surprises because Marvel loved to do that. I was expecting there to be quirkiness because that's what the Spider-Man, especially Tom Holland one, that we've come to know and love. The quirkiness, the banter between MJ and his best friend. That camaraderie is a big part of the film. It's a driving force. It's all about who is Spider-Man's family. And then there is the redemption arc that I absolutely fell in love with in this film. I'm not ashamed to say that I shed a couple of tears in one particular moment of the film. I wasn't expecting it. It crept up to me and it got me in a moment that I was like, wow, okay. There are certain moments that are fixed time points for Spider-Man, of things that need to happen for Spider-Man to become Spider-Man. And it does feel like to me that Spider-Man, well, Tom Holland's Spider-Man, has already gone through a lot of that. We've seen the stuff happen in Sam Raimi trilogy. We've seen the Andrew Garfield 2 films we had with him. But the Tom Holland, because this is now his third film, it feels like he's gone through probably a lot more than them because he's been involved with the Avengers. And the repercussions of that, like having to go through Tony Stark's death, that was basically his surrogate father, and losing the friends that he did, the friends that he made with the Avengers, and then having his identity ruined and revealed. That's kind of the place that we start off in this film. And so he's reeling from all of the events that has happened, and it seems to have happened, fairly quick succession. This is where we find our character, our Tom Holland Spider-Man. And I was really appreciating how much that is incorporated into showing us what he is going through. I thought Tom Holland absolutely nailed Spider-Man, but more so Peter Parker in this film. We see a lot of emotional depth. They give him time without his mask. There's a lot of monologues that I was really appreciating. Not just monologues, but conversations between characters that I think sometimes Marvel gets a bad stack because there are these moments of emotional beats that films sometimes have that are just incredible. But they tend to want to take away those emotional beats with a joke or something to lighten the mood. This film has all of those, but there are moments in this that they kind of just let you settle on it, which I really appreciate. I thought that's incredible. And in that, with those emotional beats, we have the score that comes in beautifully with some of the kind of the score cues that you know and love from the Spider-Man, but also just the swelling of the strings in the moments that's not just the big action set pieces, but those emotional beats that you're probably not expecting, one or two you expect, but when you get them, how they deliver it, how they show it is incredible. And I don't know if you were in cinemas when you watched Endgame, maybe you watched it at home, I don't know, but if you had the privilege to be in a full screen with lots of people very excited to watch Endgame, and there were a couple of moments in Endgame, and I'm still not going to spoil it for you, just in case you haven't watched it. There are a couple of moments in that film where people went mental. I didn't go as mental as I saw as people, but I have to say, from what my friends have been saying in their screenings across the UK and what I experienced, normally English people are reserved when it comes to cinema. You don't interrupt people. This is very prim and proper. But in this film, I think people were just overjoyed with how the story went, what they were seeing on screen, the love that the story is telling. It feels very much like a love letter to fans. And that's the best thing I can say about this. If you wanted to rip it apart, you probably could. There are moments and things I think don't quite hit. There is a lull in the middle. There are things that you could talk about that, like if you had to, that would be tiny nitpicks and things people could make bigger things and issues with it. I, for one, thought it had a great tone. The presence is always there. You know where it's going. Totally guessable. Like, I think you kind of know what's going to happen at each point. There's a couple of surprises that still caught me off guard, which I was really grateful for. But even though that you guess it, you're really happy that you're guessing what's happening on screen because you want what you've guessed to happen on screen. There are moments you're like, ah, this is great, or ah, I saw this coming, but damn, this still hurts a lot. Just such great moments. Talking about the actors from the villains that we know are there, I thought for the most part they were given enough time on screen for us to care about them, for their stories to be of worth, for us to say, oh, okay, this is the reason why they're doing what they're doing. I do think Electro still felt like they didn't give him enough screen time. They didn't give him enough for me to go, okay, yes, but why? There's a change in some of the characters in the moments of the film where then you go, well, that's a kind of a quick turnaround. Yes, but why? Does that mean because you've done that thing, now that person is a totally opposite to what their character is? That would be my one tiny nitpick, because I loved every second of this film. I will definitely be going to watch it again. I'm going to talk heavy spoilers in my next review, but thanks so much for watching. I've already given my review. Leave me your comments down below. How excited are you to watch this film if you haven't watched it yet? I think I've done a good job at not doing spoilers. Thanks so much for watching, but most of all, until next time, remember, live long Tuesday.